Yeah, you can see the screen and I'm recording, so I have not forgotten to do the two important parts to this workshop. So hello everyone, I'm Jules and I am a brand designer, graphic designer for 20 odd years now. And I started using Canva about 4 years ago now. Just very briefly, most of my background was in using Adobe software, but Canva is fast catching up. Canva is now the ultimate platform to use because it's so accessible and it's so easy to use, especially if you don't have a design background. And actually more and more designers are actually crossing over and using Canva more and more daily, just because it has so many amazing features in it as well. And it's things like remove background and images. I used to spend about an hour, 2 hours doing this when I was in Photoshop, and now I can literally do it with a click of a button. So it's such a time saver, and it's kind of one of my favorite features. If you're not like seen me before or came across me before, somebody's shared this workshop with you, I am Jules. I've been doing this for such a long time and I love Canva, big advocate of Canva. And especially after being in Sydney, luckily, and working with some of the Canva team and getting to see the products that they're launching and stuff, it's just such an amazing platform. With the latest new features that were just announced, they launched so many. A lot of the feedback I've been getting from my clients is they're just completely overwhelmed, and also a lot of their favorites are no longer where they used to be. So they've shifted around the functions of the platform and the kind of interface of the platform, and where you would usually find things have now been moved to a different place. So as I'm going through everything, I'll kind of show you where some of the favorites has been moved to kind of help you there. So I'm going to talk you through the following features: how magic edit and eraser, how to create an animation, magic write. There is so much AI now with everything, and they've actually had magic
Mom, Dad,
AI in Canva for quite a wee while. When you're searching for elements and things and it would bring up recommendations, that's all AI that was working in the background. But they've now really full force with the launch of Chat GPT, etc. Canva are really trying to enforce their own AI software into everything you do. The first one, I'll start off simply, is gradients. They have introduced gradients, which is amazing. Thank you. Because beforehand, if you wanted to use a gradient in a design, you had to go into the elements, go into images and backgrounds and try and find a gradient that suited your color scheme. And it wasn't always kind of simple process, and it was quite tedious. Now what we can do is, if we add a rectangle just to get a kind of shape in there, and go up to the color box. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom, what you will see is this area down here is now got gradients, and they have some predetermined colours, but not to worry if there isn't a colour there that suits your own brand colours, because if you go up to document colours and click on the plus symbol, you can go in here and you can change the gradient, you can change the direction the gradient goes from, left, right, top to bottom, circular, etc. But also if you click on the color schemes, you can then use the slide bar to change the color, change the depth of the color, and also you can enter your own hex code values if you have your own color palette there. You can add up to 7 colors in a palette as well, so you can have a full rainbow if you want. And this is like great if you just want to add a little bit of interest to your plain backgrounds and things. So this has been, lots of people have been excited about just this very simple update. Another thing they have added is you can now have layers. And again, as designers, we were super excited to have the layers added in, because sometimes when you're working and adding lots of different elements, lots of bits of text, then what you find is you're trying to click on the element or the text box you want to move, and you can't get to it because it's hidden underneath something else. So you can get it in a couple of ways. You can either click on position, and now you'll see this new guide down the left hand side, and you can click on layers. So it usually sits on the range, and this is where you can range things left, range things right, center things, etc. But now you have this layers panel, and what's really good about this is you can move the box right up to the top, or you can just easily move it down to the back, so it quickly moves things for you. And this is great if you have lots and lots of different elements in quite complex design. In this all panel, the arrange, you'll notice now that you have the align to page. This used to sit across the top bar up here, and a lot of people are saying how this is now missing. How do I align something to the center? For example, yoga class, if you wanted to quickly place that in the center of the design, it's up here that you will now find it. If you are working in your design, you can also right click your mouse and you can get to your layer on this panel here. So there's two ways you can access layers. You can either go up to position, or you can just right click anything on your page, oops, and access it that way, like layer, and send to back, bring to front, or bring up the layers panel. One other thing they've now added is up into file, you go down to view settings, and you can show rulers. Now I already have rulers and guides on here. I love having the rulers and guides because I like to use my guides to sometimes line up my elements as well. For example, I can just drag across a guide bar here so that I can check if everything is lining up like so, and just move it along if it's not. And in this file view settings, they now also have add guides, and these are quite handy because they just help you space things out evenly on the page, and you can create your own custom ones as well, and it just helps you visibly with alignment without having to kind of judge by eye. So that is like gradients, layers and guides, which seems like really simple updates, but actually with functionality when you are designing day in, day out are really good new features to have in there. Oh, somebody waiting to get in, just let them in. The next one is a wee bit of the magic stuff that you can do, and I have been playing around with it quite a bit. And it's sometimes it works amazing, and sometimes it's not so good. But what I'm going to show you first is there's a new few more wee functions with edit photo. You'll notice that this is now changed from the previous edit photo, and there is a lot more functionality now. So if you go up to the top bar and you go into adjust, you can auto adjust your photo if it's maybe a bit dark. Now it's got a bit more functionality that Photoshop has. But one thing I really like is this area here where you can select a whole image or foreground and background. So if I just select the background, because I really like this image, but that colour of pink isn't, say, a brand colour, then you can very easily change the colour by sliding this bar here, and it doesn't affect the flowers and the bag. It is just purely changing the background. You can change the depth of colour as well and make it like really quite vibrant. And again, you can really like change the brightness, contrast. You can change the vibrance and the saturation, make it black and white. So there's quite a lot you can change to the image just in that one setting there. Now, another really good thing is if I come out of there, in the old editor, any changes you made to the color would be set. You couldn't go back and ask it to undo, or if you go back into the editor, it would then change the colors from this setting here. But now if I click on it and go back into edit photo, it now allows you to put it back to what it was before. If you change your mind, which I think is amazing, because it was quite limiting, the fact that you couldn't go back and change that before. So that's a huge change now. And that's before we even get to the fancy dancy stuff with the magic edit. So if we go into effects, you know, you have the background remover, which is the big one we all had. We now have two more magic features, which is magic eraser and magic edit. And before anyone asks me, when they first launched this a couple of weeks ago, the first thing people said was, but where shadows went, because adding a shadow behind an image is a thing everyone uses. And what they've now done under the effects, if you scroll across, you might miss it, but if you scroll across, they have now added shadows back in, which is great, because beforehand you would have to click on the old photo editor to use the previous version. But what that also did was it would undo any of the magic edits that you had done in this photo edit. So it would undo all those and take you back to the previous editor. So I know they are still doing, the Canva team, a lot of updates to this to bring across a lot of the functionality. I think so they could launch at their Create event. They were trying to really kind of get this out. Yes, so again, this photo, just to kind of show you like how we can kind of change the background again, is we can actually just really change that like that and make it quite vibrant. So very quickly you can do quite a lot of edits to your images, all within Canva, without having to go into another platform like Photoshop, which I think is amazing and very exciting. And on the next one is I'm going to show you a wee bit of the kind of magic functions. So if we go into edit photo and we go into magic eraser, this has been working really well. So we can have select the brush size we wish. You can change it to be quite big or quite small, and say we no longer want to have the yogurt going into this bowl. So you just kind of like select over the purple area of the area you want to remove, and hopefully it'll happen quick if my internet's going fast enough. Is it should completely erase it, so it's taken a while, which is typical. There we go. So it has removed it quite quickly. And again, if you kind of come out of Magic Eraser and you can go into Magic Edit instead. Yep, we'll use Magic Edit instead. So it's put the yogurt back in. What you'd have to do is save that image and then go on to the next page if you wanted to kind of like update it. And what we're going to do this time is I'm going to take the blackberries and I'm going to press continue, and then I'm going to type in sliced strawberries and see what it generates. And again, it just takes a few seconds for this to work, and it'll give you 4 options. And if you don't like the options, you can ask it to regenerate and see what it brings up. Again, this is something I've been playing around in, and there is quite mixed reactions. So that one's not too bad. It's not sliced them though, it's whole strawberries. But if I show you the kind of difference, like they look a bit big, so they don't look so much. And then that one's a wee bit better, quite like that. And again, they're a bit big. So yes, I can just click done, and there you have it. It's now replaced the blueberries with strawberries, which is amazing if you are wanting to do some stuff post edits, if you've taken some imagery and stuff, or there's just something in there you don't want to include. It works really well. When areas that wasn't working well, for example, I'll show you how I found last night it didn't work so well for me. So if I go into edit photo and oh, just need to, oh, okay. Need to come out of that, sorry. I'm going to Magic Edit. I'm going to ask to replace this with a puppy instead of a cat. And I was getting quite mixed results last night. So let's see what this does. A couple of them, I got 2 heads. So let's see how good this one is. Border Collie puppy. Let's see. Border Collie puppy. Sitting, maybe. We'll just see. And again, these are still in beta mode. So you'll find that as more people are using it and feeding back, it's not really a Border Collie puppy, that one, is it? And I kind of found this quite funny last night because there's quite some strange, for example, this I don't think works as well. That one's just a bit mad. That looks like it's got a squirrel's tail. So yes, be mindful that the more complex you're asking it to do, not so great results. So there's, for example, one I did here. This is a photo I have shown in my business card, and I asked it to replace it with a flower, and this is what it gave me. And again, this one here, if there's like quick, say for what I think it's really good for is if you've got a photo and you go, oh, I wish I'd removed that or not had that in a shot. So for example, say I don't want to have my pencil case there anymore because I want to add some text to the top. What I'm going to do is not Magic Edit, I'm going to go into Magic Erase actually. I'll increase the brush size a little and just go over it here and see if it removes it. So there you go. That's actually worked really well. So it's taken the pencil case out completely, and it means I can now use that maybe for a social post where I can put some text over the top. So I'd say for simple things, yes, this Magic Eraser and Magic Edit are great. Just be mindful that it's still in beta mode and it might kind of have some mental results with it. So yes, so the next one I'm going to show you is draw feature. So draw was in beta mode for quite some time. It's now been fully launched, and it gives you the ability to draw directly onto your design. I will confess I struggle with this on the desktop because I am left-handed, but I use my mouse with my right hand. So when I try to use the pen feature, I'm a bit squiffy with the pen. I tested it out on my iPad using the stylus pen, and it worked so much better. So maybe if you have Canva on an iPad, you'll find it easier. But again, it's quite a fun feature. I don't know how relevant it's going to be for a lot of the designs we do, but it's good if you just maybe want to add your signature onto something and stuff, or you just want to add a couple of highlights. But I will show you how the function works. So again, we have a kind of a fine line pen, marker pen, and then a highlighter. We have an eraser, and we can change the color. So if I just click the kind of pen, I'm going to zoom into this slightly actually. And I'll keep it blue just now, but you can obviously change the colors. You can make it your brand colors. You can also change the thickness and weight of the pen and also the transparency of the pen. And for example, if I just draw a circle on here to highlight kind of like where I am, because again, I cannot write like I try and write, look how dodgy it is, it doesn't work well. But if I then click on the arrow, what then happens is that these then become clickable elements on your page, just like anything else, and you can go up and change the color afterwards. Like after you've drawn it, you can increase the size and decrease the size. It really becomes an editable element on the page. You can click on them and delete if you really don't want them there after all. So yes, I think Draw is still very limited in its appeal. It's got a long way to go, but maybe there's something you can see you could use it with your own creations, then it might be a handy feature for you. Let me just see, I'm going to switch this round and just do the video one first for you. Please let me know if I'm going too fast, or if you want me to slow down, or if you have any questions, please just do. I'm kind of keeping a wee eye on the chat box, but this one is BeatSync, which I don't know why that zoomed in. Hang on, I just need to get my view back. Yeah, that's me. Don't know what happened to my view there, it kind of went a bit bad. So I am really excited about this one. I can see this getting used now when I want to create reels and directly in Canva and export them out, and just making short videos that I want to put on my website and different things for YouTube and stuff like that. So I can really see how this would work really well. And all I've done is I have quickly compiled a few big videos, and I'm going to show you how we can very quickly incorporate the BeatSync feature into this. So just hang on a second. Right. Now I'm trying to remember actually. Let's see, audio. There we go. So audio, in case you don't realise, Canva have a whole load of audio tracks which are royalty free, which you can then use to upload onto YouTube and Instagram and TikTok without falling foul of their copyright laws. A lot of them are pro features, so if you're using Canva Pro, if you're using the free version, you would have to pay to download these tracks, but it's good that you're not penalised when you want to use them on other platforms, which is great. And it's great that that functionality is there and you don't have to go anywhere else for it. So I'm just going to quickly find a track. Again, if you want to search audio, there is up the top lots of different categories, from sad to chill to rock to parties and stuff. So they have some really quite good tracks just for background music on there. So say we just choose, I'm just going to choose this one and I'll pop it in here, and all you do is you kind of click and drag the one you want and it just automatically places it in your timeline. Now it's not put it at the start of my track, so I'm just going to click on it and see if I can, hang on a second. It's going to drag. Sometimes it's a bit pernickety, but it's just drag it to the start. And now what you'll notice is at the top, there's this new button I can press called BeatSync. So when I press on that and click the arrow, what it's done is it's shifted the timeline slightly so that the video tracks change when the music track changes, but you can, and it's these wee small white markers that indicate where the beat of the music changes. And if I want the video to kind of go a bit faster, then I can just drag it to the next white beat and it'll automatically kind of snap to that. So I can really shorten it and make it a much faster video of transitions, but it's still going to give me a nice kind of collage of thingies. It's not playing the music, but this isn't very good, but you can see how it does change over, and you can use this function to, I don't know why it's not playing the music if I'm loud, but that's how BeatSync works. But you can also upload your own music as well into there, and I can really see that becoming a feature that's used a lot, especially because we're having to create so much video now. So the next one is, let's see. Now, this is one that's going to be a huge time saver. And it's one that I've seen all over TikTok of people showing how you can create 30 posts in like 2 minutes now, using ChatGPT and Canva. However, not a lot of people talking about the fact you can actually do this all within Canva without having to use ChatGPT. And I'm just going to open up a new Canva page, and I'm going to go into Canva Docs. And what I did was, if I click on the plus sign and go to Canva Magic, and I'm going to type 20 quotes about the about design, and I'll see what it comes up with. Now, I've done this prep before, but this is just to show you kind of how it works. And so what it's done is it's searched for really famous quotes about design from Steve Jobs and now Paul Rudd and all the kind of really well-known designers and entrepreneurs. And what you can then do is you can copy these quotes, and what I've done is I'll just click on the spreadsheet, put it into a Google spreadsheet, and I have I've separated out the actual quote from the name. It has to be 2 separate columns, and when I go back into Canva you'll see why this is. And then what I've done is I've then downloaded this as a CSV file. I'll just check. Yep, CSV file. And then I go back into, just find it, sorry. Go back into my design. So I have my original quote. And what I want to do is have this exact same design, but change the quotes and change the name, affiliate, and how it contributed to the quote. So if you go down the left hand side, now it might be in your apps if you haven't used this yet, because I've used this already. It's called Bulk Create. And what I can do here is I can now upload the CSV file, which I've got in my downloads folder, and open it up. And what it's done is it's highlighted that I have a quote column and I have a name column. So when I click on quote, and then what I'm going to do is right click and go to connect data and click quote, and now it's gave it this kind of inverted brackets, and then the same for the name, and connect the data to the name, and then I'll click continue, and it's now brought in all of the quotes that was in my file, and it's asking, do I want to generate 22 pages? And I click yes, and what it's done, I just move this across, is it has now very quickly imported all of those quotes in seconds. Now I will have to go into each page and quickly, because you know I've put the underscore on it and I've made the design quite complicated, but you can very quickly go in and like move the quote up a little if you want. But really it has kind of done bulk of the work for you without too much time, and that's a huge time saver. If you wanted to save even more time, what you can then do is, I don't know if any of you's used the scheduler feature in Canva for your socials. Let me know in the comments if you have. But if I go back to home and yep, you schedule in Canva, save a schedule. So if you go to apps, so Content Planner used to be like on the home screen and it's moved again. So if you go to apps, you can now find it here as well as your smart mockups. Some people were wondering where smart mockups went to. And you can now go in and you can schedule like your quote posts to publish, say like you want them to go out once a week or twice a week, whatever, from that same quote as well. So I actually think this is a kind of really underutilized thing that is going to be brilliant, especially if you have testimonial posts. It's great for quote posts. now is like going to be a really good time saver, and especially the fact that you can do it from within Canva and stuff as well, rather than having to use ChatGPT and then spreadsheets and everything else. So that's one of my favorites, and one I think is a real functional, useful thing. I'm just going to check I'm on track for what I'm showing you. This one is there's a new translate feature. Yes, my testimonials is going to be a really good one for sharing your testimonials on there, because once you have your design set, then that's it, you can just pop them all in. This one is now I'm just going to quickly, yes, I found it, okay. The new translate feature, which is down here again. If it's not in your toolbar because you've not used it yet, you will find it under apps. There is also a sneaky way, which I'll go over in more detail, but there is also the new Canva Assist button. So if you're not sure about anything else, you can put in translate and it will find the app that you're looking for as well. So if you can't find anything and you don't know where everything is, that wee star is now going to be your best friend and find anything you need. And the translate, I think it's up to 100 languages. I am not bilingual, I don't speak any other languages. However, I have a very good friend who is Polish and has tested this quite extensively and says the translation is brilliant. So it's automatically might detect language, but I'm going to type in English and translate to Danish. And what you can also do before you translate, if you go to settings, is you can tick the boxes that reduce the font size to fit in the text box already there, and also you can duplicate the page when translating, so it keeps your English translation and gives you a duplicate in a different language. That's a kind of handy wee setting box there. And then click translate, and there we go. So again, if you're somebody who has clients who do often have to use their graphics in different languages, then again, I think this is going to be a really useful time saver. So that's a kind of really small one, but I think a really kind of useful and big addition to the features that they have introduced. Yes, now this one is a fun one, but also a really lovely one. I think people are going to use a lot, and this is the animate function. And you can animate elements, you can animate text, you can animate pictures, you can animate literally anything that moves on your screen. And I wanted to say that the animate and the magic features, they are all available on the free version as well as the pro. You get limited uses. So say magic edit, I think a magic write, you get 25 uses, whereas pro, I think there's like 75. So a lot of these features you can use in the free version. Just be mindful that you are limited per month of how many times you can use that feature. But one of the ones, this one is like a really nice one. So if we click on an element, you'll now notice when you go up to the animate feature, there is this new one here. So rather than just being restricted to the pan in, pan out and bounce in and stuff, we can now click on create an animation. And if we click and drag, then we can control where the element goes. And we can also speed up the feather, make it go faster, we can slow it down, make it go slower, we can make it a bit smoother if your hand hasn't been too steady when you've been creating the path, then you can like add the smooth and steady in there too. And also that you can just click done. But equally, if you decide to remove the animation, then you can just go back up to custom and you can delete the path and it removes the animation. But this is one that I love and I have kind of been experimenting with it a little. The same with this one. again, this is like a moving element, so I already got some animation in it. So when I'm going to actually delete the path and just do it again. So if I click on the element and click animate, and I want it to kind of look like it's kind of jumping on the text and then floating around. But I don't want the butterfly to just look like it's quite static as it's flying, because that's not how a butterfly flies. If you orient element to path, what it does is it then bends and turns like a real butterfly would, which is quite nice, I think. So if we just do that again and kind of play around, you can see how it kind of moves around. So again, thinking of your social media posts and things, if you have a nice graphic but you just want to add a bit of movement and animation to it, then this is a really nice way to kind of introduce that. And I'm sure as the tutorials go on, they'll be more and more advanced as they go on, but that's like a huge addition. And again, you can use this in the free version with limited uses. I'm just keeping a wee eye on what else I have. Now, some of the more the moving butterfly, yes, actually, that's a really good one for you with your gardening and magazine and stuff. And if you're just, I can see loads of graphics with moving flowers and flowers opening up and the butterflies moving across. The bumblebee is a really cute one as well. So I can see lots of possibilities for you, MT, with that one. There is another one for presentations. And I'm going to just demo this just now. So this is, again, a lot of their kind of AI introductions. And you can either open it up this way or you can do it from directly in from a blank template as well, because a big thing Canva have done is move the magic right from just being solely within their Canva docs to you can now access it from any template design you're in, from presentations to social posts. And I'm going to show you in a wee bit more depth now how the magic right works. So if I just type in here, create, if I can spell, marketing, what was it I'd done? Marketing plan for, let's see, a coffee shop, for example. Oh, shop. And it's going to give me a rough outline of a presentation, but it's also going to include some text. And it's not giving me that much, it gave me more last night, but I might need to kind of be a bit more descriptive. Sometimes, like, the more descriptive you are, the better. And as you can see here, it is already pre-filled with some target audience and customer profiles and SWOT analysis and stuff, budget. So it gives you a kind of good starting point. If you have your brand kit set up, you can also have it set within your own brand style, your own fonts and your own colors. So if I click create my presentation, and obviously that looks a bit awful. So this is again where it's just like, it's all very much beta. But now what you can also do, I'll just bring this down a bit in size. Say this page here, you're thinking, not really digging this page. What we can do is click on layouts. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me some other suggestions and other layouts for this page that I might prefer better. So I might click on that one and it instantly changes it. So although it's kind of quite rough and ready, it's going to actually help you bulk out your presentation quite quickly, and you're then just going to go in and finesse it rather than starting from a blank page and you're having to rebuild it in from scratch. So they're thinking of time saving. How can we save time? And especially if you're not, or you don't feel like you're naturally gifted in design, then this is just all ways to help things get better. Now, the way that, oh, so they're giving me quite interesting ones for this one. So here we go. That's quite nice. I quite like that. I'm going to click on this one though, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on this text, let's see. I'm going to choose one that's got a bit of text on it. And if I go to Canva Assistant, and hopefully that's not going to do it. What it sometimes does is lets you change the text, and it lets you, oh, I'm going to just show more. Use the magic, right? It's not bringing it up. I might need more text. So what it does often is if there's a bit of text, you can ask it to expand, or if it's a lot of text, you can ask it to simplify it down. You can ask it to rewrite for you. So and again, it's saying the technology is new and improving, so there's still quite a bit. Well, there we go. It's bringing it up now with this one. So there we go. We can expand this text. So just click expand, and it suddenly changed it into like a whole section. And if I just click this, then it automatically changes the layout of the page. And then if we look at that and go, well, that's just a bit too much, we can ask it to summarize. And now it's kind of like summarized that version again. So again, I can see this being a huge time saver. I am loving it because I'm not naturally a great writer, and I find that this just gives me a head start, and I can edit something that's already there, but I'm not that comfortable starting from scratch. So it helps people who maybe feel that that the design is not their strength. It's giving them assistance when designing layouts, as well as giving them assistance with writing. And as with everything, they're still very much up in the air about copyright and stuff. But again, as I always suggest with branding, is put your own voice on it and make it your own. So always go in and tweak and edit. But this is a huge time saver, and that's in presentations. There is another one. Let me just go back to Canva Home. It's magic design. Let me see if I can find it. Yes. Yeah, Sharon, I'm going to save so much time. So this one is magic design. And from here, what you can do, and when you click on magic design, it appears at the top, and all you have to do is insert a photo. So if I just go along my most recent ones, so for example, one of my brand images, and it kind of tries to guess what your image is about, and it gives you some shocking ones, but it's basically pulling on the full library of templates that it owns to see which ones it thinks will fit. But you can kind of change the category. So if I know I want it to be a social media post, then it's only going to give me social media posts rather than different templates. I can go in here and change the style. So if I want it to be elegant or minimalist, let's go for feminine. You can also change the color palettes and the fonts that are here. One thing that I would have loved to have seen here is if you can attach your brand kit to it, so your own fonts and colors. That doesn't seem to be a function yet, but I'm sure it's going to be a function soon. So I'm just going to pick this one just to see what the results are. And again, you can see how quickly it's changed it. And if I just scroll through, okay, they're not perfect, but it gives you a basis where you can just select one and then go in and customize a template to quickly edit. So instead of going on the template page and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling till something catches your eye, you can very quickly go in and just change, which is reminded me of another feature that you might not have seen. So I'm just going to go back to the very first template. And I'm going to just add a page. And if I go up to templates and say you're just scrolling, something that catches your eye, let me just see. Let's click this one. And I'll just pop this one in here. But you're thinking, right, I like this template. Let's click that. Ooh. I like this template, but it's not my brand style, it's not my brand fonts, you can go back up to the design panel and go across to styles, and you can click your brand fonts if you have them uploaded, and you can also click your brand colors, and then you can click on a toggle and go through the different options of colors that you have and very quickly change your template. And again, this is really good if you want to create something quickly but you don't want to start from scratch. Then you can go into the templates that are there but still make it very much branded to your own business with your own brand fonts and your own brand colors, but do it very quickly. So again, I love that little tweak that they've just added in there. That's going to make such a big difference. I think my last one that I was going to talk about, if I just go back to the home page, is the new brand hub. Now, kind of feel this has to be a whole workshop in itself, but I just want to give you a super brief overview. They've changed it from the brand kit to the brand hub, and now they're giving you much more functionality in your brand kit. So yes, you have your logos, which you can upload, your colours. I've got some of my clients' colour palettes here as well, which I'll now separate out because I can now add other brand kits in here. And instead of just giving you 3 options for your font styles, which used to be title, subtitle, and then body, it now gives you much more options, and including kind of quotes and captions and things as well. So you can be much more finessed with your typography uploading. You can upload photos now, and you can also upload graphics and icons. And if I go into my design in your pocket, now I've separated it out. This is my other brand. You can see that again, I've got some of my photos, and I have some of my most used graphics that I've uploaded as PNGs, so I can quickly drag and drop them. Because if I go back into a design, you can now access Brand Hub from the left-hand menu. You used to have to come out of a design to access your brand kit. Now they've made that an icon right within the design function, so you can easily go in here and access your colors, access your photos, access all your logos. But also what you can do is you can, if you have more than one brand, click on it and change your brand kit and access another brand kit and use that one instead. So again, I feel the brand kit needs a whole separate kind of function, but that's a really good one. So then let me just go back to actual science view. Is there, before I kind of just briefly finish up the workshop and things, is there any questions of anything I've been over that anyone would love to know, and for me to maybe go over again that you didn't quite get the first time? You can just let me know in the chat, in the comments. And then if not, thank you so much everyone for listening. If you would love to get some more design support from me, I do have a template membership, and it is only £9 per month, and I send you every fortnight a brand new template set that you can use either on your social media, or you can use it in your I send you other ones that are to do with marketing, from YouTube covers to email templates to now marketing templates. I do have some free Canva templates that you can find from either on my website or on IG. And then I also have a monthly support where I have twice a week drop-in surgery days where you can send me your graphics that you're creating in Canva, and I give you my feedback. I'll tell you if I feel you have to change the design a little, or if your colours are clashing, or if your fonts need to stand out a bit more. Sometimes I even ask you for your Canva link and I'll go in and tweak it for you. I do have a special offer for those of you on my workshop of a £10 a month discount if you enter Love Canva into the discount. And lastly, for any of you who are local to me, because I know you're joining from across different places, I am doing an all-day Canva workshop where I will literally be taking you from the very beginning, the basics and how to use the platform, the functionality of it, where everything is, to how to create an amazing designs, and giving you my design knowledge and what makes things like look professional, like how to give everything a professional edge and not look I know a lot of you feel you don't feel it looks too amateurish. I'll show you the tricks of the trade and how to make things look great. And then at the end in the afternoon, we'll go a bit more into how to create the animations, how to create reels and videos, all within the Canva application. So yes, I just want to thank you so much for attending, and you will find me mostly on Instagram and TikTok under Designer in Your Pocket. So